The stone hole.
Which are you talking about? The long-range alignment?
Yeah.
Well, I think the way that they were able to establish such accuracy was a couple of ways. I think one is they incorporated simple geometry, and I'm actually researching various methodologies with William Mann, who's a Templar researcher up in Canada, and they had some pretty accomplished geometry that they were able to perform, and in long-range geometry. The other way that you could get accuracy is by using the heavenly bodies, the stars and the planets, and they had methodologies for using those celestial bodies for incredible accuracy because they are extremely consistent. So once you have those two things mastered, and I don't know the nuts and bolts of it yet, but I think that's where the answer lies. So I'm not surprised myself. All I know is that every time I see something that's amazing and interesting, once I investigate it, we figure out that they had a method, and that's one that we haven't fully fleshed out yet, but I have no doubt in my mind that we'll figure it out.
Well, the other part of that, though, I figured out at one time that while it might not be exactly accurate and get you to a stone which is less than 5 feet in width, it does get you in the general area.
Oh, right. And that brings up a great point. There are many of these stone holes in the upper Midwest region, and not coincidentally, I don't believe, in the area of that part of Minnesota and the extreme eastern Dakotas, that I believe is part of a larger scale geometry that I believe represents kind of a target, if you will. And once you get into that region and you know where to look for these stone holes, there no doubt had to be a methodology that they used to get to the area where the land claim stone was, and once you get into that immediate region, then the triangulation would have gotten them on the bullseye. But this at first sounds fantastic, but if you stop and think about it, it's perfectly logical and reasonable, and in many ways, it's not that difficult at all. It's really quite ingenious, and the more I study the practices of these medieval orders, this is consistent with their practice. They really had things figured out using ancient knowledge that goes back much further.
Now, Scott, there's been the mention of the movie on the History Channel. I'm sure that not everyone around the world has seen it yet. This work was turned into a documentary / movie, which aired on the History Channel, which the title was changed from your book, from your desired title, to Holy Grail in North America. I know that's caused some issues. I know it's raised a bit of a stink, and I wonder if you could talk about that.
Well, the title Holy Grail in America was obviously History Channel. Once they purchased the film, they said, we're going to change the title from The Secret History of North America to Holy Grail in America. And I was very upset about that because this is not about Holy Grails. This is about, what I consider to be serious research. But, let's face it, the History Channel is in the entertainment business. And is Holy Grail in America going to get more people to watch it in this Da Vinci Code culture that we live in today? Well, the answer is probably yes. And is that what we want? Of course. And from a business standpoint, that was their decision. It was their call, and that's what they chose to do. And I understand that. And after I got over my initial disappointment, I just accepted it and realized that, this is what's going on. But instead of looking at this whole film thing as, looking at the negatives and dwelling on, those things, I chose to take the cup is half full philosophy and really be excited and appreciative of the fact that our research is being featured to the world. And it's just a tremendous opportunity. And and the most important thing is the quality of the film and the way the information is presented. Now, they had to address the Holy Grail in America question with, the artifacts in southern Illinois and the Oak Island question, which I never would have used in the film. But you know what? You can't get everything you want in life, and all things considered, I'm extremely happy with the film. So
it came out to about 75% of the content was your book. We're down to about 11 minutes remaining in this interview, and I'm very sorry for that, but I would like to invite callers if they have any questions or comments for you, Scott, and that number is 646-652-2720. Another thing, just to give a little more background about the stone holes, they're not just in Minnesota and the Dakotas.
That's right. They're actually found. They're actually found all over. Typically, the information that we have right now, or the database we have right now, they commonly occur along rivers, streams, and around lakes and coastlines. So this seems to make sense if most of these stone holes, and I don't believe that every stone hole that's found is related to medieval orders. Some of them are very likely modern. Some could be older. We don't know. But they seem to occur along waterways, which would have represented logical routes of travel for people back at that time. So that appears to make sense. The other thing is they are reportedly found in Greenland, in Iceland, and I know they're found in Scotland, and I absolutely know they're found on the Danish island of Bornholm, a well-known Templar stronghold back in medieval times, because I found them myself. When I went to Bornholm last year, we visited a place called Hammershoes Castle, which is the largest castle in northern Europe, and on the grounds inside the courtyard where there's bedrock exposed, I found 6 of them in a cluster that appears to be in a pattern of a constellation. So you know, it's one of these things, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. We just keep finding these stone holes associated with artifacts, rune stones, and places where we know Cistercians and Templars traveled. So that doesn't mean they're connected, but, you know, again, here, where there's smoke, there's probably fire.
Yeah, there probably is. And some of them were mooring holes, or mooring stones.
Right. And, you know, if I might just add a comment here, you know, I gave a talk in Kensington yesterday, and I ran into a group of researchers who have been studying these mysterious holes for decades. And they have been insistent that these were mooring stone holes, and following the work of Helmer Holland. And I had a discussion with them yesterday, and I said, hey, guys, you know, one of the things I would suggest to you is, you know, get away from the term mooring stone holes, because what happens is when you talk about mooring stone holes, and you're right, Rick, some of them most certainly are mooring stone holes. However, many of them clearly are not. And when you call them mooring stone holes, people that don't agree with you are going to pick at you and try to take all the stone holes and call them mooring stone holes and throw the baby out with the bathwater. When you call them stone holes, nobody can argue with you, because that's what they are.